Well, we've got this information keeps streaming in about the death of these various medical theories. And, of course, the medical theories, there's a long line of thousands and thousands of failed medical theories over the past 1,000 years. And there's nothing to say it's not going to happen again and again and again. Of course, we know that the theories on fat started out in 1901, 1908, and 1911 as an ad campaign to sell Crisco, which was originally designed as a machine lubricant for factories. And make a long story short, Procter & Gamble wound up with it, and they couldn't sell it as soap because women were making their own soap at home out of lye and animal fats and wood ashes. And so they said, we got to do something with it. We bought this patent. We got all this stuff growing up. They're piling up. And so they paid $1.7 million to the American Heart Association to endorse Crisco as a healthy replacement for lard, butter, and cream as cooking shortenings. Well, by between 1915 and 1925, the cardiovascular rate just skyrocketed because people began to convert to Crisco and margarine in cooking instead of lard, butter, and lard, butter, and cream. And so then began the almost 100-year odyssey. It is 100 years, I guess, odyssey of moving the wrong direction with oils. Okay, so oils are healthier than saturated fats. Well, we're one of the sickest nations on earth as a result of that change. Well, the theory that fat ingestion, eating fat, causes obesity, well, I have a book out called Hell's Kitchen. We know for a fact that eating fat does not have anything to do with you being obese. In fact, the more fat you eat, the skinnier you get, and we've noticed that. And, of course, we know that being overweight and obese is, in fact, due to a deficiency, particularly of minerals. I want you to get a hold of the book, Rare Earths Been Cures, and the book, Hell's Kitchen, and you'll know exactly what to do. And, of course, we have programs. We have the Healthy Weight Loss Pack, which includes the ASAP, and you'll lose a half pound to 2 pounds a day, and the magic here is you'll never gain the weight back. Then clogged arteries. They wanted you to believe that clogged arteries were due to consuming saturated fats. Again, lard and cream and butter. No. What we get for switching over to Crisco, a hydrogenated oil, cottonseed oil originally, then corn oil, and what do we get for that? Well, we just got sicker, okay? And then they want you to believe that fat ingestion causes diabetes or contributes to a lot of the side effects. No. Stroke is not caused by eating fat or eating cholesterol. It's actually caused by a deficiency of omega-3 essential fatty acids. Diabetes is caused, type 2, which makes up 90% of the diabetic population, is caused by deficiency of a single mineral. We've known that for 70 years. Then comes the failed genetic theory. After 60 years, following the 1953 outline of the double helix structure of DNA by Watson and Crick, 2003, the mapped out human genome was published. We spent trillions of dollars. 28 nations were involved in that one. And as of March of 2013, we hadn't solved any diseases with genetics. So James Watson, the American of the pair, Watson and Crick, came out and said, all the experiments we've done over the last 6 years regarding genetics have been irrelevant. You're not going to cure diseases like cancer, diabetes, or any other disease thought to be genetically transmitted by sequencing the genetics of 150,000 people a day, because it's not genetics, it's chemistry, biochemistry, a.k.a. nutrition. And all diseases that are said to be genetically transmitted are not genetically transmitted. So that's another failed theory when it comes to it. And I want you to get a hold of the book, Epigenetics. It's our newest book, Epigenetics. The subtitle is The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. And I love it. What is epigenetics? Well, epigenetics is supplementing with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and fatty acids so that you're giving the genes and the DNA and the RNA all the cofactors they need to maximize the genetic potential that they have. It's kind of like a car. It'll go 300,000 miles if you put 6 quarts of oil in the crankcase. You change the oil every 1,000 miles or every 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. And if you just put water or dirt from Texas, and they're saying, well, there's a lot of oil in Texas, probably there's some oil in that dirt from Texas, or you put 6 quarts of water in there to save some money, that car will not go the distance you can get out of a tank of gasoline. The engine will burn up. Well, same thing is true with your grandma. Can live to be 102. and you'll die 48 of a heart attack if you're eating food differently than her. Your grandma probably had a wood stove, was throwing her wood ashes in the garden, getting minerals, and lived to be 102. You're using electricity and food grown in soil with synthetic fertilizers, so you're not getting the nutrition that grandma got to maximize her genetic potential for longevity and health. Okay, well, this is where the book Epigenetics comes in. Again, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, Epigenetics. And I want everybody to get that book and employ these principles in your life. And then if we do that, our children will outlive us. Statistics say, experts say today, that our children will not live as long as us. Our children are the first children who will not outlive their parents, who will not live as long as their parents. So what do? Read Epigenetics, the book, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Get the 90 essential nutrients into your family, and let's add 25 to 50 healthful years to everybody's life. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
I got this story here from the New York Times, and the headline reads, Revolving Doors at Hospitals. And specifically what they're talking about here is Medicare patients that come in and they're supposedly fixed, and then they go home, and within a couple of days they're back. And they outline a specific case here. They don't give any names, but they say a gently smiling, impeccably mannered 90-year-old woman at the window bed with a touch of pneumonia was a big favorite. Doctors joked with her. The nurses stroked her head and brought her antibiotics and nebulizers right on time. Her private duty attendant organized her pillows, fed her little snacks, and she looked like $1 million when they sent her home. 2 days later, she was back in the emergency room, wheezing, choking all over again. Her readmission, an embarrassment to the professional staff, and for the hospital, a big fat fine from Medicare. And a little later in the story, I'll describe why that happened. And a bit farther down in the story, they say, imagine that this whole setting was a theater, and that the patient was an amateur actor, and in Act 1, she's in the bed, and all these VIP-type actors are playing the doctors and the nurses and the hospital staff that are just hustling and bustling and, hanging out with her all day and checking her tubes and cracking jokes with her, and she's laughing, and they send her home. Then Act 2 comes and gone, and that's when she gets sent home. Gone is the bed, the oxygen, the bedside full of tray. Gone are the professionals, except the visiting nurse who won't show up until Monday after a Friday afternoon discharge. Gone is a roommate, and in silence she sits and coughs, and suddenly the cough is much louder. They go and then they go into Act 3, and they say a star slumps off the stacked pillows, becomes a sick little old lady, and in the wrong way in the bed, from the bath, too far away from the bathroom, the lipstick smeared, and terrified relatives seeing her, they rush in and take her out of the hospital, and they say an expensive Act 3 for the hospital. And then, they go in and say a little later, they go, cases like this are torture for healthcare policymakers because nobody can quite figure out who's to blame. They say the system has all kinds of problems discharging patients too early, providing them with incomprehensible instructions, forgetting they're too weak to get to the pharmacy, and overlooking the booby traps they probably have at home, providing no coherent follow-up, and sometimes the outpatient's doctor doesn't even know the patient has ever been admitted. They say patients aren't always innocent, though. They sometimes ignore their discharge instructions and then also go back to their bad habits. They say studies back in 2009, Medicare and Medicaid tried to shame hospitals into doing a much better job with post-readmission rates, didn't do too much, and so now the fines are imposed, as were mentioned in the first part of the story. They say often the hospital efforts to eliminate some of their worst habits led to some improvements, and they say it should be noted that a few of these strategies actually backfired and raised the readmission rates. I kind of found that a bit comical, Doc, when they say they don't know why this is. Well, all they have to do is look at the statistics of how many people get an infection while they're in the hospital that they didn't have when they showed up, how many people get the wrong procedure, how many people get the wrong drug, how many get too much of the drug, and it goes on and on and on. And it's no surprise there's all kinds of readmission rates.
Right, and they didn't change her diet, and they didn't give her the 90 essential nutrients to support her immune system. I mean, the mistakes in a case like this are like dozens of mistakes, and that woman was just a victim of a medical system that has failed us all. In fact, there is a statistics out that came out in November of 2002 that said each month in America, medical doctor, and this is a study was done by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Inspector General. This isn't my numbers. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General. They said each month in America, medical doctors kill 15,000 Medicare patients over age 65 in hospital. That's 180,000 a year from just simple screening tests and minor medical procedures. When they go in, have a little temperature or something, and they do all these screening tests on them and kill them. Or they'll do some minor medical procedure, like spray the back of their throat, and they give them the wrong thing and kill them. 180,000 a year. So this gal's lucky to get out alive. But she's a typical example. 150,000 a month, or excuse me, 15,000 a month, 180,000 a year. My goodness gracious. Okay, well, thank you, Doug. Super job as usual. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Dallas, Texas. And Ann, you are on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Ann, you're on the air.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
This is for a friend, and she has, I don't know if this is the correct pronunciation, occipital neuropathy is what the doctors have said, and she has blurred vision, floaters all the time, numbness in hands, headaches on the right side, and neck pain on the right side. And she has digestive problems, of course. So there you go.
Okay, digestive problems.
Yes.
What kind of digestive problems? Constipation, diarrhea, bloating?
I know constipation.
The other way.
I know she has can go for days without going to the bathroom.
Well, that's constipation.
Right.
Yeah, so constipation's an issue.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and all these other things also are manifestations of a gluten intolerance.
Okay.
What does this lady weigh?
She weighs probably about 135, and she's between 5'4", 5'5".
Okay. Now, do you know if she has any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, or rosacea?
Oh, gosh, that knew she should call. I haven't seen it, but I don't know that.
Okay. And do you know if she had any respiratory problems, either pneumonia, bronchitis, or asthma?
Don't know that.
Okay. Well, the digestive stuff is enough. If she's only having one bowel movement in a week, then she's got gluten intolerance.
Okay.
Okay. She needs to be on a drop-dead gluten-free diet.
Okay.
Of course, we have gluten-free foods as Go Foods.
Go Foods.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go Foods. That's one of our programs. It actually has a 25-year shelf life, absolutely freeze-dried, non-GMO. Half of the products in this line are gluten-free.
Great.
So it's very, very clearly labeled gluten-free. And then they're also MSG-free, and they're also organic. And so she wants to incorporate those into her diet. It'll keep her having great variety. We do have a gluten-free cookbook. It's Valerie's gluten-free cookbook. You can get that by calling your Youngevity associate. Get that great cookbook if she likes to cook. But she needs to be off of fried foods, processed meats, oils, and gluten. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. That includes dog food, cat food. Anybody else living in the house, everybody's got to be gluten-free because of cross-contamination of food preparation surfaces, the laundry, the couch, blah, blah, blah. Well, hang on, Ann. We'll be back with you, and I'll give you a supplement program, so get your pen and paper ready for this gal. In fact, Char's probably going to do it. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to Texas and Ann. Okay, Char?
Yes?
Okay, here's a lady, 135 pounds. She has digestive problems. I believe it's a gluten intolerance, but she's got neuropathy in her neck and her hands and all that kind of stuff. She has some floaters in her eyes. And what would you do for her?
I would get her on the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack and add Ultimate Daily and De-Stress.
Okay,
and
fabulous.
You could also add Vision FX for the eyes.
Okay, very, very good. And I don't know, I'd throw in the glucogel also. I'd get her 2 bottles of glucogel so she could have 15 of those a day, 5 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then call us every 2 weeks, Annie, and give us a progress report. We'll walk you through this, but you can look for great, great improvement here. Don't forget the gluten-free stuff. That'll get rid of the digestive stuff for this lady. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to Seattle, Washington. And Cooper, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Cooper. You're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Question is, this oral flea and heartworm medicine for dogs, is there any dangers to it? It's called fictitcious.
Yeah, anytime there's a drug that'll kill parasites, will also potentially kill the host. Okay, so you have to watch dosages very carefully. If the animal is debilitated for the fleas, I prefer the herbs to do that. You can get a hold of the book called Let's Play Herbal Doctor, and there's actually a little herb that's a little daisy, okay? And you actually can get it in poultry dusting powder, and you can sprinkle this over the dog, and you can actually sprinkle it on the dog's bed and this, that, and the other, and it'll actually kill fleas and ticks and other external parasites. And that's kind of the direction I would go. Also in the book, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, it goes into things like avocado skin and pomegranate skin. You can dry and grind it up and give them a little, like a quarter of a teaspoon of that once a day for a week. And it has the great advantage of knocking off intestinal parasites and the little herb, little daisy that kills off the fleas and the ticks on the outside. But yeah, there's always potential for these chemicals to kill the host. They're not totally 100% safe. You got to be extremely careful with dosage. And if the animal is debilitated, you got to cut the recommended dosage in half. Okay, well, stick with us. We're going to be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way after these messages.
Let's head to Ohio and Radovan. You're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello.
Hello, doctor.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Yes, I need some advice from you guys. I heard about your products, and I think I need something, but I need advice. I'm not sure what I need.
Okay. What's your health challenges?
I have a problem with cholesterol.
Okay, what's your cholesterol numbers?
250.
Okay, that's perfectly normal. You do not have a problem. 220 to 270 is normal. That's one of those dead medical theories here that's written up very well in the book, Epigenetics. The cholesterol theory came in back in 1911, 1915, when Procter & Gamble bought a machine lubricant from a German guy by the name of Wilhelm Naumann, and they couldn't sell it as soap, which they had planned on, so they turned it into a cooking shortening and to replace lard, cream, and butter. Well, they demonized cholesterol and saturated fat, neither of which are bad. In fact, they're quite good. They're both required nutrients, saturated fat and cholesterol. So cholesterol from 220 to 270 is normal. If you try to get your blood cholesterol down below 200, you have a high probability of getting Alzheimer's disease and type 2 diabetes. So don't touch your cholesterol. Do not touch it. It's perfectly normal.
The doctor said...
Well, only dead doctors don't lie, Radvan.
Yeah, okay, doctor. The other problem is I have a little bit high sugar.
Okay.
Blood sugar.
Okay, what do you weigh?
I'm like 190 pounds.
Okay, with 190 pounds, I would take... Shar, what would you give a guy 190 pounds has a blood sugar problem?
I'd give him 2 healthy blood sugar packs.
Absolutely. Very good. And Radvan, are you on medication for your blood sugar problems?
Yeah, they give me something, I don't know.
Pills?
Some pills, yeah.
Okay, so what you want to do is take your fasting blood sugar every morning before you medicate yourself, and then as your blood sugar drops, and it will, as it drops, you want to go ahead and take less medication. When you get down your blood sugar down below 100 for 5 days in a row without medication, that means you don't need medication anymore. You're an ex-diabetic, and but you do have to stay on the 2 healthy blood sugar packs, as Shar indicated, and stay away from the bad stuff. Stay away from fried foods, processed meats, oils, and gluten. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And keep your cholesterol above 220. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to New York. And Mac, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Mac, you're on the air.
Oh, Dr. Wallach, good to get hold of you today.
Thank you, sir.
I'm calling because I have an issue with several things. My joints, my ankles, I've got some problems there, and also ringing in the ears and also my left knee. And I do have some metatarsal G in the foot. I'm not sure what's causing that. And fatigue. I just feel fatigued. I am taking the Tangy Tangerine, taking that a while. And I've got some dark circles under the eyes, puffiness there. I'm not sure what's causing that.
Okay, do you ever have any respiratory problems, asthma, bronchitis?
No, nothing with that.
Any digestive problems, belching, burping, bloating, constipation,
yes,
diarrhea?
that. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. What do you weigh?
200, about 219.
Okay. Okay, Shar.
Yep. He needs to get on a gluten-free diet because he's definitely got a gluten intolerance.
Yep.
And for the ringing in the ear and stuff, basically he could use the CM cream, put it in his ear very carefully, and that would stop that temporarily.
Okay, he's got joint problems and
he needs a healthy bone and joint, 2 healthy bone and joint packs.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And get on a gluten-free diet and use the CM, well, that comes with it, I think.
Yep.
And he can use that to get rid of the ringing in the ear temporarily. And the glucogel will help rebuild the bones and the cartilage and everything in his knees and stuff, so that'll stop that problem.
Very, very good. Okay, so just to sum it up, Mac, 219 pounds, you need 2 healthy bone and joint packs, as Shar said. There'll be 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangerine 2.0 NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner, 15 glucogel a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. All that will be accomplished by the 2 healthy bone and joint packs per month. I want you to also put the CM cream, as Shar said, take a half a teaspoon down in each ear when you wake up in the morning at about 3 in the afternoon. Use a Q-tip to put that down in your ear like you're trying to get wax out of your ear. And that will give you temporary relief for the ringing. And when you have ringing in the ears or tinnitus, what happens is you have osteoporosis of the skull bones. People forget we have all these bones in our skull, and they get osteoporosis and arthritis too. And the joints and the ringing in the ear, all joint problems are all related. And the bloating and so forth, this has to do with gluten intolerance. You've got to stay away from that, as Shar says. And as you get on the 90 essential nutrients, it would not be uncommon for the fatigue to go away. But we can actually, since he's gluten intolerant, Shar, what would you give him as a sports or energy drink?
I give him the Rebound.
Rebound, absolutely. Okay, it either comes in cans, 24 cases, or 24 cans in a case. It does come in the sticks, with 30 sticks in a box, and that will give you energy. That's what professional and Olympic athletes use. Give us a call every 2 weeks, Mac, and let us know how it's going. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Santa Barbara, California, and Trifco. You're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Tripco, you're on the air.
Hi, thanks for taking my call, Dr. Wallach.
What's up?
Yes, I'm calling on behalf of my mother. She's 71.
Okay.
She has rheumatoid arthritis, and she's, 4 weeks ago, she got severe anemia, ended up in the hospital, and she's been diagnosed to have some form of leukemia. And from the medication, she's put on prednisone, I believe so.
Okay, so she got leukemia, anemia, and you said rheumatoid arthritis?
Yes, for a long time she has rheumatoid arthritis.
All right, what does she weigh, you think, Tripco?
I think about 180 pounds.
180 pounds, okay. All right, 180 pounds. Obviously, she needs to get on a diet, change her diet, because that's what got her in trouble. No fried foods of any kind, no exceptions, no processed meats. That means no deli slices, no sandwich meats, no sausage, ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky. I would also make sure she's not having any oils, no coconut oil, no olive oil, no margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils, and, of course, no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And then, let's see here. What is, you said 180 pounds, is that correct?
Yes, about that.
Okay. So, Shar, what would you do for the rheumatoid arthritis and anemia part of this?
I give her the Killer Biotic.
Okay, Killer Biotic.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And, okay, I would also give her, at 180 pounds, I'd give her 2 healthy bone and joint packs. And the de-stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day for the anemia. And hang on, we'll give you a little something for the leukemia after these messages. Back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go right back to California and FIPCO. Okay, for the mom's leukemia is a kind of a supportive immune system, which is her best friend here when you have this kind of problem. I'd have her take the triple treat chocolate, get her ORIC points over 100,000. I'd have her take 2-3 times a day. I'd get the big box of 100 count triple treat chocolate, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner. I'd also give her the Ocean's Gold because of the sea cucumber in it. Really supports the immune system when people have serious life-threatening chronic diseases like cancer of all types. I'd have her take 3, at 180 pounds, I'd have her take 3 of the Ocean's Gold at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'll be 3 bottles a month. Call us every couple of weeks. Let us know how Mom's doing. Okay, Doug, let's see if we can squeeze in one more.
All right, let's head to Columbus, Ohio. And Matt, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Matt. You're on the air.
How are you?
Fine, sir. How can we help you?
You're such an inspiration. I don't know how you found the time to write epigenetics, but I'm finding the time to read it.
Oh, well, good. Give us a feedback after you read it, will you?
I sure will. Now, I've got a question just in general. I know some people that I've been talking to have this opinion that cancer needs, I don't remember what it is, a certain pH to thrive, and that they can actually change the pH of their blood by the food that they eat. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me if your pH of your blood was that sensitive, you'd end up dying.
Yes, you're quite correct. To make a long story short here, the pH of your blood is going to be about 7.1 no matter what you do. There's 9 buffer systems. There's carbonate buffer systems, phosphate buffer systems. There is protein buffer systems to keep the pH at 7.1. And so you can run in sulfuric acid in one vein and take the pH in the other arm, and it'll stay 7.1 because of all these buffer systems. If you get up around 7.3, 7.5 out towards the alkaline, you're going to be in the hospital dying of alkalosis. If you get down to 6.9, you're going to be in the hospital dying of acidosis. The guy, Otto Warburg, who got the Nobel Prize for doing some experiments in cell cultures in test tubes, that cancer wouldn't duplicate in an alkaline environment. But in a living thing, it's much more problematic because you can't move the sort of ambient pH around. So that's, I believe, that they're tinkering with a failed medical theory there. In the test tube is one thing. In a living body where you have all these enzyme systems, is problematic. I don't think it works. If it was that easy, as you say, we'd have eliminated cancer a long time ago. And also, if it was not that easy and we're forcing people's pH in their blood to change, we'd be killing people right, left, and center. Okay, so you can actually get the pH of your saliva and urine to change because when you give somebody excess alkaline to raise their pH in their blood, the excess alkaline above what it would take to maintain 7.1 gets put out in your saliva and your urine to get rid of it. Same way if you try to acidify your blood to get down below 7, 6.9, 6.8, 6.5, the excess, so you can maintain that 7.1 is lost in the saliva and urine. So testing your saliva and urine in a parlor game situation with test strips used to test the pH in a swimming pool does not send you in the right direction. You got to be more serious about it, I think, to accomplish what people want to. Okay?
All right, thanks. Yeah, that was my thoughts about those test strips as well, because that's what they're buying test strips.
Yeah, it's one of those parlor games, and I'm not real, I don't buy into that one. Okay, good question. Okay, how much time we have here, Doug?
About 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take it and say, get that new book, Epigenetics, read it, The Death of Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life. Keep your telomeres alive, folks. Okay, thank you so much, Shar. Super job. Thank you so much, Doug and Susan. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.